All right, this is the session for repatriating to Southern Africa, focusing on Botswana, the Republic of Botswana as of 2025. Hallelujah. Now, this particular session is for expats and repatriates that are preparing to move to the Republic of Botswana. More so for those that are in the realm of not having a permit, not having military credentials, not having $200,000 in the bank. Maybe you don't have a lot of money or a lot of support, a lot of people or community, and that's okay. Maybe you've been called to make your exodus within the land as you await to be within the borders. Whenever you are watching or hearing this, just know that this video might be for you. So this is not for my local brothers and sisters, my Botswana, Dumelang, Lakai, but this is for those that are in the diaspora. So with that stated, I'd like to start with just acknowledging the Most High. He is great and mighty, in His Son's name, Yahusha. I am so grateful to be able to present this in a public spectrum. And as we go further, I pray that He will lead and guide those that are called and chosen. And for those that are just simply in the secular sense looking to gain more information and clarity, this is also for you. A prayer of protection and wisdom and salvation be upon you. Hallelujah. This here is our presentation of stage one preparation. This again is not for the locals, the Botswana, or simple visitors. This is for those that are repatriating and looking to relocate. All right, with that disclaimer, let's move forward. Now, within this session, the objectives here are to explain 5 key points of relocating to the Republic of Botswana with information as of 2025. This is also to highlight overlooked facts that maybe your consultant or your agent or your friend at ground zero may not be sharing with you. And it's also to provide resources for those that, again, don't have the military credentials, have a big support family, don't have friends here, aren't getting married to a local, and that are simply looking to be within the place they are called to be. Now, this is the portion of the session of this recording where I'm going to address those 5 key points. We will come back to that. The 5 key points are population and culture, climate, no more than just weather, opportunities for those that may not have a work permit, or remote job, and then living arrangements. And then what about your mental and emotional wellness? Many don't talk about that. Before we go further, are you aware that the Botswana flag actually represents quite a few things? There's colors there. There's blue, there's white, and there's black. And what do those represent? Well, the blue represents the water, especially rain. And the Setswana word for that is pula, pula, and means rain. It also represents the cash, the money, the flow. Botswana is, as you know, surrounded and surrounding the Kalahari Desert. It is dry and arid. Now, going back to the flag, black represents the people, and white, it represents peace, it represents the harmony between the races that are here, and it symbolizes the unity and hope with a focus on equality and the preciousness of water. Okay, you notice I keep saying water because it is a dry place. We'll talk about that during our climate session portion of this session. Without further ado, why are these key points important? Because if we go back to the key points, these are the key points that will help you be sustainable here, will help you relocate. But more so, again, this particular video is about preparation. We're in prep mode. You haven't even left yet. Or maybe you are on this side, but you haven't settled into the Republic of Botswana yet. So these are very important because if you miss out on these points, you're going to struggle. You're going to not feel like you're settling. You're not going to feel like you're settling into your atmosphere, into your new space and environment. And you're going to actually be disrespectful to those that have. So keep that in mind. Why are these points important? Because having that level of respect for your location that you're traveling to, no matter where you travel to in this world, know what the flags represent, know the local languages, know what the actual cash flow, how that's going at that time, know what the legal aspects are. Are there any type of civil disputes or wars going on? It's very important to understand and have a level of respect for the location and the people of where you're traveling to. So the first one is population and culture. Now, these are not really bulleted, itemized points, but they're just talking points for this particular video. Now, population and culture. Are you aware that Botswana only has 2.5, 2.6 million people in the whole country? The country is very large. There's more animals than there are humans. But when we're talking about humans, there's a high immigration rate from Zimbabwe, South Africa. There's a lot of Asians. And when I say Asians, I'm talking about not Chinese, not just people from the Southeast islands, but Indians from India. Okay. So you're going to see all kinds of humans within the land. This is not a place where you are bringing your Pan African spectrum and your Hebrew Israelite ideals, placing them here and taking over. If that is what you plan to do, as I stated, that is not what the flag represents of the Republic of Botswana, nor South Africa or any countries within this area. Going back to the population and culture moving forward, why is it important to know population and culture? Because if you are coming here with the mind state of starting a business or bringing your business, then you need to know who your clients are. You need to know who your audience are, whether or not they have access to internet, what the internet's like. You need to know what the high priority sectors are when you go to apply for your permit, your visas. And what are those high priority sectors? They are within the hospitality. It's also within hospital or medical field, the technology field, education, agriculture. These are the high priority sectors amongst many others. But if you're going for more of a low priority sector, it's going to be a bit more challenging when you're dealing with business or even your visa or permit. Okay? So, for business purpose, as we see on the screen, business purpose, know your clients in advance. This is a preparation video. So, as you prepare to move anywhere, always know who your clients would be. Are you going to be working internationally, based in Botswana? Or are you looking to leverage clients that are in Botswana? And these are key factors and points to know when you're applying for your visa or permit. The next thing to know and to understand, whether you're just moving here as maybe a senior citizen, maybe moving as a young family, or as a single person or disabled person, you need to know and think about how you're going to apply to stay and remain here in the Republic of Botswana. So we'll talk about that in just a moment. But getting back to population and culture, that still applies. Who will be your neighbors? Will you be living in the city? Will you be living in the rural areas, in the villages? No matter where you live at, it is safe. And it's a very safe and respectable climate that we'd like to keep. So don't come with your ideals of adding your own culture and enforcing that on people. Now, that's where you're going to have some problems, okay? Just speaking from personal experience and the experience of others, of those of us have been here for 10 plus years, all right? Languages. What language should you learn? Do you have to learn something? The answer is you need to be familiar with the basic forms of Setswana. Setswana is the language that is spoken in Botswana, But English is the actual language. Now, Setswana is used in the homes, it's used in social situations, but within the business situation, within schools, English is the way to go. There are other languages as well, and we'll talk about that later, such as Kalanga. And there's Shona, that comes down from Zimbabwe, and so on and so forth. But Setswana is the language, and I strongly encourage you to learn the basic phrases in order to have a level of respect and to then immerse yourself not just about the culture, but even as a business aspect. We'll talk about that a little later at the end of this video. Now, laws. Are the laws strictly enforced? Yes, they are. Now, you don't see policemen walking around with guns and no one's walking around, trying to shoot you. It's not like the situations that we deal with back in the United States or in certain parts of the world, especially as so-called Black Americans or people of minority, people that are melanated. All right, but they are strictly enforced. However, they are very kind, caring officers. Law enforcement is here to help. And then also the laws that are in place. Did you know that there's still a death penalty? They have still do death penalty here. So have respect. Come with respect. Don't come with your own idea of what I am and I'm going to place this here. It's okay, of course, to educate and to share. These are very kind and understanding and receptive locals that live within Botswana and those that are immigrants living peacefully as possible together. But to come and then to disturb that, you're going to have a problem. Yes, there's freedom of speech, and we'll talk about that later and in the next video. But with regards to the strict law enforcement, there's nothing that would restrict you from practicing your own faith and your lifestyle freely within the borders of the Republic of Botswana. 79% Christian population with a 1% Hindu, Muslim, and others. And the rest is traditional cultural religions. Moving on to the food access. Now, this is something that's very important. Take note that is a landlocked country. Within the Republic of Botswana, it is landlocked, and there are restrictions as of 2025, even a little bit before that, even during the lockdowns and COVID and all of that. There were restrictions with what type of foods are coming in. Why is that? Why is it we can't just get certain produce and meats from other countries? The reason why it's not as easy is because Botswana is using wisdom and applying that to try to be more self sustainable. Say it with me, self sustainable. Exactly. Because it's a landlocked country, it's a desert in most places, and growing food is something that is not always easy. It's not just about seeds. People say, I wish I could send you some seed. Seeds is not the problem, but more so fertilizer and the things that come with that, and having pula, rain, let's say water, plenty of water under the ground, but the rivers flowing and the rain going is very dry. I remember going 10 whole months without rain. Okay, so we collect rainwater and we are very careful with our water use. Currency. The currency, as I stated, is pula. And the pula to US dollar is quite interesting because one US dollar would equal what we call about 13 or 14 pula. So if you're buying something that costs maybe 10 US dollars, that's going to run you about 140 to 150 pula. That's a whole nother video. The next one is transport. There are no Ubers, no Lyft. That's banned in this country. But there is an app called InDrive. Again, at the end of this video, you can see that information. InDrive is an app that recently came to play about a few years ago, back in maybe 2021, 2022. And with InDrive, it's very similar to Uber and Lyft, but right now it is still public transportation in the form of what's called Kumbis. Okay, little vans that you get on that take you to certain places and you get off. Then there's also bigger buses that take you to further destinations, and those are more private owned. But with regards to transportation, you want to buy a car? Not a problem. But just keep in mind of the environment. There are agricultural changes being made as of 2025 to kind of reduce any pollution and the use of cars within the cities and the village areas. So buying a car is fine and it's celebrated, but just keep in mind that pollution is trying to reduce that. Can you buy a car? Yes, you can, even without a permit. I say that whispering. You can buy a car, and it's an easy purchase. You simply have to have what they call a book, and you take that. It's basically like what we would call a title, and you just have that put in your name, and you make the payment for the fees that are involved in that. Those fees we'll talk about in another video another time, but they can roughly be anywhere from 150 to 400 pula, depending on your actual vehicle, the year, make, model, and things of that nature. So regarding transport, it's easy to get around. The A1 is what we would call our major highway. There's the A10, the A12, and Tabarone. But as you go further in other locations, highways are paved, and there's some parts that are paved that are not as great and have a lot of what we call potholes. And then there's parts that are not paved that are dirt roads. But for the most part, Botswana has paved road system and it's taken care of. And it's not bad. Must commend what our government is trying to do. Could be better, but hey, school. If you're doing homeschooling, it's celebrated. It's good, not a problem. You have access to online, fast speed, high speed internet. You also have access to books. Yes, there are libraries. Yes, there are bookstores. And yes, you can get things shipped with no problem. Okay? We'll talk about that later. School. Schools here, again, mostly English schools, private schools, and then the local schools speak Setswana and English. English is taught and it is a language. Again, freedom of speech, yes, it is here. You can speak, but it is regulated. And you have freedom to practice your faith based lifestyle. All right. Moving forward, this is important to understanding the weather, your needs for hydration, and your risk. I would say, as someone that's been here for a long time, okay, so called Black American living in Botswana, settled here, okay, I can tell you that hydration is number one. You will have to adjust. Now, some people say, what do I need to do as I transition? What should you do as you transition into Southern Africa? Hydrate, my dear. Hydrate. That's it. Remember, you're coming out of garbage and mess, eating high fructose and all that, even that organic that we call organic back in the States and the UK and such and such. When you come here, it's different. You will actually find you're healthier. You may even lose weight. Your hair even changes, etc. These are positive things. I'm encouraging you. But one thing you need to do is consider hydrating more than you used to because you're in a much drier climate. As someone that has lived in the desert lands back in the United States, I get it. But this is different. Hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. West Africa, hydrate when you're moving to South Africa. It doesn't matter. Your transition is different. Again, this video is not for the locals. Y'all, Botswana already know. My Botswana brother, my Botswana sister. You already know, okay? But I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to those are settling here that are relocating, repatriating, and are expats that are looking to live, not visit, but live. Okay? So, going back to that, weather is important. It is very hot during the summer. That sun is no joke. It's not a gentle, calm, golden sunlight. It can scorch you if you are not used to it. So, just be prepared for that. Get your shea butters, and you'll be fine. All of that is available here. Everything you need is available here. There's not a reason for you to pack a bunch of stuff. Leave it. Just like our ancestors, leave it, pack light, and make that exodus, right? So, understanding the weather, you are in the Kalahari Desert. It is more, there's parts that are a little bit tropical and there's parts. But one thing I can say is that in the summer there are breaks. So you're going to get some rain. You're going to get days where it's not super 100 degrees Fahrenheit or what they would call 40 degrees Celsius. That's another thing. Learn the combination of Celsius, Fahrenheit, translating. There's apps you can put on your phone. Don't even worry about it. Don't stress. It'll come naturally. Liters to gallons, all that. Okay. It's a big change for us that are on the ends of the earth, right? But going back to the weather, again, you're just adjusting to a very hot heat, hot sun, dry air. Your sinuses, keep them moist and hydrated, even in the winter. And in the winter, it does get cold. So I would say June and July are the coldest months. You will need a jacket. During the day, it warms back up, but honey, at night, it can get down to 29 degrees Fahrenheit, 35 degrees Fahrenheit. It gets cold. So stay warm and prepare yourself to hydrate more than you usually do. You're going to bring toiletries just to get started. I would say the toiletries that you should focus on would be for more so your hair, just to adjust and acclimate and get over here. And then you can pick up your Jamaican castor oil, your shea butter, whatever you use. It's available here for the most part if you're living within the realm of the major cities such as Habarone. Okay? But if you're going to be living further out, you can still get, there's still access to all those things. Sometimes just living within the rural areas or out in the villages further away, your access becomes a little less available. So rural villages and towns are less resources. Living within the city areas, you just have greater access, quicker access. Okay. All right. So please note that tap water is drinkable. You might have some bubble guts, especially if you're not used to it, okay? So I am telling you now, prepare to have a filter. You don't have to bring one, that's nice, but just buy one here, okay? And there's bottled water, there's filtration centers everywhere. You can find filtration centers that filter the tap water for you. You can fetch water and bring it back to your home hut, whatever you want to call it, okay? But gloves, boots, everything that you need year round is here. Moving forward out of climate, moving into opportunity. Now, here's the part that you probably came for that 22-minute mark. How am I going to stay here? How am I going to move to Southern Africa, specifically the Republic of Botswana, and actually stay? Not just visit for the 90 days they give you, the 6 months they give, but what if you're looking to stay? The way you're going to do that is you're going to need some type of visa or permit. And with that visa or permit coming from the United States at this time of talking in 2025, unless the orange guy changes things and makes things hard, and then over here they say, hey, you guys gonna have to apply for your visas, like Namibia just did, okay, at the time of this video. Otherwise than that, you're good. You just show up and you have your visa. You're on a visitor visa. You can stay up to 90 days at a time, and then, you have to do something. They're giving you these 3 to 6 months so you can make a decision to either stay or go. Use the time wisely. During that time, you will be able to apply for your visa to be a resident, and then either your permit, which will allow you to work or have a business or be an investor, or maybe you're coming as a ministry, opening up at school, whatever that might be. Maybe you have military background, and that will make it easier for you to get your permit or visas. But I'm not here to talk to those that got military credentials, that have, some type of a whole bunch of money in the bank, that have someone they're married to that's from here. I'm not talking to those people. Okay, I'm talking to repats and expats and those making an exodus that are looking to settle without all of those things. Okay, I made that very clear in my disclaimer. So when you are coming over here and you're looking to settle and you're looking to start a business, or you've already secured a job, or maybe you already have a business such as remote work, you need to show that to the government. And you also need to show how you'll invest or how you'll add to their social welfare here, okay? So just showing up and thinking, I'm just going to find, I'm just going to do this. I'm just going to rent some land out and I'm just going to have a farm and live happily ever after and isolate and build a community to myself for my religion and my people and my family. That is not the mindset. That's not what the Republic of Botswana is going to allow you to do. You need to have a visa or a work permit or some type of permit that allows you to stay. Those will last from, they might give it for 2 years, 5 years at a time. But every 5 years, you would renew that. So let's go back. Let's talk about those permits. So let's say you're going to start a business, buying your way back into the land from which you were snatched from, right? I'm talking to y'all, right? Our people. Let's talk about that. So you're coming here. You're going to seek a priority sector, okay? Listen to me carefully. You need to seek to be establishing a business within a priority sector, a high priority sector, because you need to show the powers that be how you are investing in a country that is already just trying to make it, trying to, Botswana was known as the poorest country in the earth at one point. So you're coming over here for yourself, but what are you offering, my dear? What are you offering? So, high priority sectors, as shown on the screen, would include healthcare. Maybe you have a medical background. Maybe you have a technology background and software development. Are you starting a school? There are people that have come that started schools and it was an easier transition, but there's a lot of paperwork and a lot of things that you have to do that and qualifications you must have. And then there's the agriculture set. Now, there's other high priority sectors. Again, high priority sectors. These are just the main ones I'm listing and telling you about. If you think you're going to come here and start a car wash and that's going to get you your permit, wrong. I'm going to start a hair salon, wrong. You have to actually be a citizen or have the company has to have at least 50 or 51% citizenship in the company or 100% citizenship shareholding in the company. Do not go thinking you can just come here and start some like little restaurant or some type of, you can do it, but it's not going to secure your permit easily as of 2025. Okay? Hopefully that's understandable. I'll do another video on that, Yah willing. So my suggestions is as you're transitioning, please secure yourself some type of finances. Don't come here thinking you're going to start it here. Have it already. I've seen people from West Africa, Tanzania, East Africa coming down to Botswana. I knew this would happen. I've warned people. I told people, watch, you're going to see them. It didn't work out. And they're going to come down to South Africa, Botswana, Namibia, come down to Zambia, come down to these areas because it didn't work out in the other areas. But they still don't have their revenue, their income set up. Again, the government wants to know, how are you going to take care of yourself? How are you going to invest into this country that's 2.6 million people? It's actually a little less than that. But according to the census, 2.6 million people. Are you offering jobs? Are you offering training? What do you have to offer to the social welfare? Okay. So make sure that you are secure as well. You need to have not just money in the bank because money will run out. You need to have stability. So find, maybe this is just a suggestion, remote work before leaving the States, before leaving wherever you're at. And if you're already in the States, you can do tutoring jobs online. You can become a writer. You can even use this silly AI and turn it into something that's beneficial for you. You can teach English online. There's so many things. But as far as jobs here, if you think you're coming to get a job, unless you're some type of doctor working in a hospital, willing to get the jab, whatever you're doing, if you're coming over here and you're thinking you're about to pick up a job, the jobs are limited. Local jobs are limited. Yes, you can find a job teaching. Yes, you can find a job working with, partnering with a local. But again, jobs are for local citizens. All right? All right. Moving forward, living arrangements. Again, I'm going to put it on the screen. Telling you, this is starting to happen. It's 2025. It's starting to rise. A lot of those people that said, I'm going to East Africa, I'm going to West Africa, it didn't work out. So they come down here. Now they're saying, ooh, 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 let me try to buy some land, which actually takes 2 years at most, at the least. And then you have to be a citizen. Oh, I'll just go through a real estate company or someone that deals with, a local that has some land and we'll rent it out. Ooh, ooh, okay. So they have all these things. And now here we go. That's a whole nother video that I'll be posting shortly after this one. Please note that as of 2025, you must be a citizen to buy lands. I'll repeat that. You must be a citizen to legally buy land. I don't care what a local person will tell you and will give you the title and deed. It has to be a real title and deed. There's a lot of scams going on, and I'm not going to sit here and highlight those in this particular video. Just know when you come here, do not be full of yourself. If you say you've got some vision from the Most High and He told you you're supposed to come down to where the land is and do this and that, listen. Humble yourself. Start off with a rental property such as an Airbnb or a hotel or someone you know. If you're coming as a group, get a 4 bedroom, a 6 bedroom. I see people do it all the time ever since 2016, 2017, 2018. It's 2025. It's the same routine. Humble yourself. You need to get acclimated. You need to learn some things here. Come and stay in an Airbnb, even work it out with the Airbnb owner. This is really important, so take note. You might be able to rent out month to month or extend a lease through Airbnb. I strongly encourage you to use workaway.info. We'll talk about that briefly at the end of this video. Workaway.info, where you pay $25 to $50 a year. You sign up and you can live without paying rent on a property as long as you're maybe maintaining the property, helping with farming, teaching English, things of that nature. And you could do that anywhere in the world through workaway.info. I'm not even being sponsored. Workaway.info, okay? Check it out. Or just stay at a hotel the first day or two. I strongly suggest staying in Habaroni. Gaborone is the main city, it's the capital, it's where all the ministries and the offices are that you need to go to. Can you get to the offices for immigration and for your permits and visas and other cities? Of course. You can go to Lobatse, you can go to Francistown, you can go to Palape, it's everywhere. But Gaborone is the capital. Anywhere you go in this world, you try to stay near the main city if you can when you first arrive, if you're trying to stay long term. Okay? Now, when you get here, your living arrangement, you can negotiate. Once you do find the place that you like to live, whether it's month to month, or maybe for a year, or maybe for a few years, whether it's land that has a farmhouse, or whether it's in the city within a condo or apartment or home, you can negotiate. So, what is the cost? A house of living, I would say you can go as low as 100 US dollars. You can go as high as 1,000 US dollars and above. It depends on what you're looking for. I'm not going to address all of that in this video. And I want to give a shout out to all the locals, my Botswanan, that are making YouTube videos and TikToks and all of that. Go support their channels. Talk to them, reach out to them. All the others that are repats and Black Americans that are making their channels, support them, talk to them, reach out to them. They've been doing it for a while. Some of them just started. They will give you more information, and I'll post some if you like. But in the meantime, you can negotiate your rental price. Internet is 20 to 100 US dollars. Okay, depends on what service provider you go with. High speed fiber internet, or you can also use mobile data. Okay, it's like you're living in 1990s where there ain't no free nights and weekends. You have to literally pay per minute. in a sense. There's plans and there's what we call packages you can buy and bundles, you'll see. So you can do all that. That's a whole nother video. Again, shipping. Let's move on to shipping. Shipping. Can you ship here? Yes. But please note, it's a landlocked country. It's not as easy as South Africa, Kenya, Ghana, more of the more popular spots, right? Shipping is available. Yes, USPS is here, United States Post Office Service is here, DHL, FedEx. I'm going to tell you from my time here, FedEx was a monster. It was, oh, I'm so glad they fixed it. It was a problem. I actually worked with the lady in California to work with helping to get it so that it was more responsive and I'll just put it this way. It's a lot better now as it's 2025. Please shout out to all of us pioneers that have been here for a long time, past 2 decades, since 1980s, since the year 2000, since 2010. So those of us that came in 2016, 2017, such as myself, shout out to all of us because we really helped pave the way and pave the way. All praise to the Most High, yeah, for just making it easier because it was not. I'm gonna tell you. Amazon is based in South Africa now as of 2025. They have a facility. So it's going to be a lot easier for those types of packages to come through. But it's not cheap. Botswana also has what's called BERS. Now, we got the IRS. We have BERS here. BERS is the Botswana Unified Revenue Service or system that's here and they charge tax. And sometimes they hold your package for 2 weeks, sometimes for 2 months. I've seen a lady, you can go on Reddit, you can go online and see where people have had packages and certain types of orders that were held for a whole year, depending on what it is. There is a regulation and limitation to certain things, but it can be done. Okay? That's a whole nother video. And then finally, the other key element, that 5 key points I was talking about, what's important is your wellness before you come as you prepare, because this is a preparation video. Are you really ready mentally? So, how are your relationships? Let's talk about that. Are you okay if, family member dies? Are you going back to your land that you came from for the funeral? These are things to talk about and think about. Finances, getting back, finances of traveling back and forth. Is that maybe it's a spiritual journey? Maybe you're making an exodus, and the Most High told you not to treat coming into the land or within the borders as a revolving door. If you made some type of covenant with the Creator and He told you not to treat this as a revolving door, and you keep going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, keep that in mind. That's between you and Him. That is a spiritual aspect of your mental, emotional, and mental, emotional, spiritual wellness. Think about how strong those relationships are. Think about if you're coming with someone, your partner, how tight are y'all? Think about if you're coming out as a group. You go and get yourself a 4 bedroom, a 6 bedroom house. You're living in Pakalane, Habrone, Botswana. Living the life, just enjoying, getting off the grid, maybe living off land. Someone in your group decides this isn't for me. Or maybe your visas and your permits, something happens. What happens now? How does that affect you emotionally, spiritually? Are you really ready for all of the transitions that come with moving into an environment that's number one, landlocked? Number two, different culture, different environment. Number three, you're dealing with Botswana, you're dealing with locals. Some of them have never, ever met an American ever in their life. You are the first person they've ever met that's from that land. So the way you're being treated, all of those things, that's a whole nother video. But you need to prepare yourself. Is there xenophobia? Yes. There's some prejudices, but it's not like what you might experience in like South Africa or different parts of Africa, maybe Namibia with the Germans and whatnot. But there is a level of prejudice. So these are things you need to prepare yourself for. But overall, it is a beautiful place. The people are very nice, resilient. In the city, as you go more to Habaroni, you're going to experience some silly stuff. Okay, I can write a book and show you videos, but I'm not trying to get kicked out. But what I'm going to say in this video is make sure that you are mentally stable in the aspect of your support, not having support, the lack of support, knowing that you're coming into an environment that is 79% Christian, that there's a mix of all type of people. You're going to see mosques, you're going to see the masjids, you're going to see the temples, you're going to see all these different things. And you're going to see people that do not align with your faith. Again, if you think you're coming here and going to promote that type of mind state that everyone has to conform to me, this is not the place to go. This is not the place to be. So ask yourself, will I ever go back to my land? If there's a funeral or there's a hardship, how does that look for you? What does a trip back, going back to where you came from, what does that mean to you? What does it mean to the Most High? Okay. And then also, I'll take this away from the screen. If you have little ones, you have children under the 18, think about child support payments, think about taxes, think about what you're having to file. These are things that you can do. And I strongly encourage you, if you need any help with that, you can go to a company that is based here, founded by Black Americans 10 years ago, called Gone Source, who are more than willing to help you. They have free 24/7 knowledge-based support that you can go online and click on articles and on resources that will help you, as well as this video. All right. If you're moving anywhere you go, you need to have consent of the other parent. If you're taking a child, you need to have that written consent. So these are the documents you have to think about. Birth certificates. You got to think about your passports. Will they be expiring next 6 months? And we'll go over that in just a moment. And then also unresolved family disputes. All right. All of that goes into the wellness block. So, in summary, prepare yourself. Don't just go blindly. Even if you've never been and have never come, such as I didn't, when I came over here, I hadn't made a trip and visited and looked around. I came by faith and I made the transition and I'm still here. And many, many others are still here. Okay, we're just doing it quietly. We're not loud. We're quietly, and we're quietly helping the diaspora. We're quietly helping people relocate for the past 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. So, in reference to help and resources, there's a page here that I'm going to show. I will not cover in detail for the sake of time, but I do want to just go over some key points, elements. You can pause this, or you can go to the website that's provided to download some information pertaining to the resources that are listed at the end of this video here. So in reference to resources and what to do, in summary, please make sure that you know the law systems wherever you go. You don't have to learn the judicial system. Just know what you're getting into, what their beliefs are, and how they handle crime, even things that maybe you did and you didn't know you did wrong. How is that handled? Number two, learning the basic Setswana, there's a misspelling there, learning basic Setswana phrases. You can download apps such as Duolingo, Memorize. There's also Drops, which is pretty good. It lets you practice with it. But you'll be okay. Just come in. Just come. Just come, family, okay? Now, everyone pretty much speaks English, and those that don't, that are more out in the outer skirts or in the villages, are very nice and kind. Please just learn the basic phrases. Setswana is the way to go. Step three, remote work. Make sure you secure income before you come. I strongly recommend taking a peek at workaway.info if you're single. Take a look at workaway.info if you're a couple coming with no children. Maybe you are a household that has a few children. Still take a look at these things. Look at the different aspects of remote work and how you can bring that here. Hopefully by 2026 and beyond, Father willing, there will be a remote work visa. As of now, it isn't yet, like South Africa. However, just keep in mind Namibia has it, South Africa has it, and I believe the other surrounding Southern African countries do. Okay? Secure income. Secure your income before you arrive. whether it's your business or work. Step 4, learn the geography well. So know that in Gaborone, that is the capital. Then around that, just kind of get yourself familiar with the village. The village is actual place that's in Gaborone near Tokling and is near Riverwalk, and it's where a lot of the expats live. Block 10, Pakalane, so a little bit more higher skill, costs a lot more money, and so on. Okay. The A1 is the major highway. Just remember that there are no Ubers, there are no Lyfts. You're going to catch a taxi, you're going to catch a Kumbi, you're going to take InDrive as an app that you want to download to your phone ahead of time. And some of these things, such as Airbnb and InDrive, if you download the app now, you start a free account, you may be able to get coupons and save. So when you travel, you have those coupons, bam, that you can just use right then and there when you arrive. Step 5, apply for your residency and business permit once you arrive. Okay, now in South Africa, some laws have it, you have to apply ahead of time, but for here, you apply here. Okay, apply during your 90-day stay, your 6-month stay. And then also registering your business is really easy. You can do that at www.sipa.co.bw. Okay, sipa.co.bw is the website where you register your actual business. If you need help for that, again, GuideSource is the way to go. Also, you will submit your residency and business permit applications at the Universal House in Gaborone. I know if you look online, it tells you go to the immigration office down there by Kama Crescent and all that. They're just going to send you right on over up the A1 to the Universal House, okay? Now, you can also go to immigration offices in Francistown, Labatse, and in other major cities. But Gaborone is just a little easier for you when you're trying to get established long term. Then you can go out and get your land. Then you can go out and move over here. Then you can go do that, okay? Step 6, pack light. Again, shoes. I'm just going to say it. Just bring shoes. Shoes are sold here. They're good. They're not super expensive, but start off with some good shoes because you're going to be doing a lot of walking. You want your baby to have some good shoes. And then you can always jump over to South Africa. If you don't like what's here, go to South Africa, 4-hour drive from Gaborone to go to Johannesburg, go to Joburg, go to some of the malls in those locations if you have to, or you can just, again, support local. Make shoes, okay? Seriously. So again, pack light, but you need your shoes, make sure your passport's not expired and your bank cards are not expired. You can have those shipped, not a big deal. Talk with your bank about that if you're going to keep your banks back in the States, in the UK or where you're at. Starting a bank here, there's a monthly fee, and usually that's roughly about 50 pula, 35 pula, which is about 2 to 5 US dollars. Step 7, please do not get involved with these land schemes and land scams. I don't care how much Hebrew they speak. I don't care how Christian they are. I don't care how Pan African they are. I don't care if they align with your ideals and your thoughts and your beliefs. Please start off by simply knowing where you're going to be at and stay in an Airbnb or a rental place or a hotel or do work away. Do not take thousands of dollars, invest it and send it ahead of time and think you're going to come here and stay and be fine where you're at. You need an address, my dear. When you go to get your visa and you go to get your permits, you need an address. So it might work for you, but you need an address. And when you get to the airport or if you're crossing over through the border by foot, like I did, many years ago, they want to know who's hosting you. You need to have proof that you're staying somewhere. And step 8, upon arrival, make sure you get your SIM card. That's how you're going to be able to make phone calls. That's how you'll be able to kind of establish a new WhatsApp if that's what you're doing, or some type of app of communications. Understanding electricity and hot water usage wherever you stay at. They may have a limit and tell you, oh, you can only use a certain amount. So ask those questions ahead of time. And then learn where to buy food once you get settled. You'll learn to go to the regular grocery stores if you want to go to a certain farm. Again, depends on where you're staying. If you're staying in Habaroni, no problem. But if you're somewhere else, ask. And then make sure you get rest, beloved. You need rest once you get settled. It's very important. All right. This is almost coming to a close. Thank you so much for bearing with us during this session and what to do right before you're leaving the US. This is just once again another summary as we close this video. What to do right before you're leaving the United States. And again, this is for those in the United States. Do you need a driver's license? Yeah. But I'm going to tell you this, if you don't have a driver's license, that's okay. But once you get here, you're going to have to take a test and get a driver's license that way in Botswana as of 2025. But if you have a United States driver's license, you come over here, you just use that. You don't actually have to go and apply for a driver's license. You just use your United States driver's license. But you can go in for maybe about 20 US dollars, maybe about 225 pula, maybe 300 pula. You can go in and get yourself an African driver's license. Hallelujah. You can go in there and get one. And if you're under a certain age, they're going to make you take tests and things like that. But just come with your driver's license. You'll be just fine. The police pull you over. They look at your car. They're happy to see you. They greet you and send you on your way. Okay. As far as international driver's permit, you can go to AAA, I believe, still, and just get one of those. I can tell you, many of us, we've never ever used them, never pulled them out, never had to use them. Okay. It's just more so if you're traveling to another country that might need it. That's why I'm saying get your international driver's permit at maybe AAA or somewhere. Okay. But you don't need that in Botswana. It's real chill. Make sure you book your flights. Step number two. We're in preparation mode for this video. So make sure you book your flights at least 3 months in advance to get the best prices. Go straight to the airline website. If you use some of those other websites, that's cool. Use an agent, that's fine. But if you go to the actual airline website and start a free account, you can get some pretty cool discounts and some upgrades and things like that, and also get information about your baggage and how much it weighs and how much it'll cost. Step three, traveler's insurance. You do need that as of 2025. Need medical and damage, some type of insurance when you're traveling. You do need that, and you want it anyway. Step number four, book your housing with your Airbnb, your workaway, or local hotel. Or again, if you have someone you do trust and know and you're coming into their community, fine. I'm just saying you need to have an address. Okay, I said it a lot. Step number five, if you are not a US traveling, you're going to need to talk with your own embassy, okay? Because you might have to get a visa ahead of time. But as far as United States citizens, that's who I'm talking to. Also, step number six, get extra copy of your birth certificate for all the souls in your party. So you got children, you got yourself, whatever. Get an extra copy if you can, because I've seen where people have got them shredded and torn up. And how are you going to get a copy, dear? How are you going to get a copy of your birth certificate? Some states back in America, you could just go and get the copy, but are you going to go back there? Are they just going to send it? What are the laws back in the states as of 2025 or beyond? Okay. So I would just go and get it. Just have an extra copy that you have somewhere else. Don't put all your documents in just one place secure, just in case something happens. Step number seven, check the weight of your luggage, again, that it meets the airline requirement. Step number eight, remove certain items from your cell phone. I don't know when you're listening to this, but the world may have changed by the time you're listening or watching this video. So that's why I say just check your cell phone search history. Depending on what city or country you're coming from, you might be coming from a country that's in war, and they might want to look through your stuff at that time. They might want to tell you need a shot. I don't know. Whenever you're listening to this video, I'm clearing my throat, giving you like a little whisper. Just make sure you're good, okay? But there's no need to worry or be concerned. He's got you covered. Step nine, have proof, okay, that you are actually staying somewhere. You will need that for sure. That's for certain. You need to have an address. So if it's a hotel, Airbnb, whatever it is, you need that. And then step number 10, just go ahead and have total peace. Breathe. No regrets. Make sure your mental wellness is good. Don't leave and then carry that over here with you, because the stress that you may comes with relocating, do you really want to pair that with the stress that you're leaving from? Okay, that's really important. All right, I'm just saying it one more time. Copies, the most important things. If you can't remember because that was too much, copies of the most important documents you have. If you want to get them apostille, that's fine. Getting them notarized is cool, but just at least have a copy, okay? A copy of your birth certificate is good enough, but certified copies of your passport ID page, let me tell you something. If you think you're coming here and you just, oh, I'll just go get a copy from the embassy, it is like 50 US dollars per copy as I speak. It might be more by the time you're listening to this video. So I'm giving you a wealth of knowledge. You want to prepare? I'm telling you, prepare to just have that before you leave. It's a lot cheaper to just probably get a passport notarized, get it stamped from someone cheaper, maybe aunt who's a notary or something like that. But yeah, every time you get them caught. Now over here, if you got an officer, most police officers. It used to be when I first got here, many last decade. Okay, many years ago. Oh, police officers will do it for you. Now they're changing the laws. If you're a United States citizen or someone that's outside of Botswana, period, the police officers, the law enforcement, the police, if you just go to the police station, they're no longer just stamping your passports for you when you need a copy, like a printed a copy, and you just want copies, and they stamp it for you. They're not just doing that for everyone everywhere, especially in Habarone. Okay. So get that done. Just have a few pieces of copies of that ID page of your passport. Not every page, just the one that shows your face and all the ID numbers, okay? And then secure your flight and housing. All right, that's it. That's it. Everything else within our session is talking in reference to sources and things that you may want to consider: international shipping, real time travel updates, such as going to covidchecker.com/en, where you can get live updates of what the mandates are at the time of you listening to this video or the time of you traveling. Again, this video is not going to tell you what's going on in real time. So make sure you go to websites that tell you real-time travel updates at the bottom of the screen here. See it? And then international shipping, these are just some sites that I'm giving you as of now. And then also knowing people that live in Botswana is a very good thing. Other Black Americans, African Americans, whoever aligns with whatever you are coming to do. Okay. There's Facebook groups, there's WhatsApp groups, and then also gunstudios.com, who I actually am sponsored through. All right. Remote work search tips before repatriating. All of this is within this document for those that are seed sowers. You can also find this information online in regards to finding a remote job. I just have some scriptures here that are leading to you being more encouraged. And I thank you for your time. Again, there's a 24/7 free knowledge base that you can access at Gone Studios or GoneSolutions.com. Thank you so much for your time. I'm very grateful and just being able to present this information and being one of those that have been called and chosen to be here for many years. I will not be taking comments under this particular video, but you're more than welcome to reach out to those sources that are listed within the video. I pray that the Most High will lead and guide you through all understanding, truth, and knowledge for those that are believers and not. And if you are traveling and you are investing within the Republic of Botswana, please check out my playlist right here on I'm on a Journey on this channel. Check out the awareness playlist for precautions and updates of some things that's going on. It is not meant to be an exposure or to expose and highlight something that's wrong, something that someone did. It is more so to bring awareness and encouragement of the things that may have been going on in real time, to be noted for those that are repatriates and expats that are traveling. Thank you so much. I'm on a journey here. Shalom.